Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer. I'm Ralph Phillips, and today we are going to be looking at things I found interesting in the Week 6 game against the Carolina Panthers in London. Now, these are not all of the plays in the game, only the ones where I found something interesting worth pointing out. These plays are in chronological order. They are not highlight plays or X's and O's so much as they are Jimmy's and Joe's. If you like this kind of analysis and discussion about the Buccaneers, check out our podcast with myself and Molly Bay. Now, there's a lot to get to in this game, so let's do it. Very first play of the game, you'll see 72 Josh Wells get beat by 97 Mario Atkinson for a pressure on Jameis Winston. Jameis ends up throwing an interception here. It was an ill-advised pass because Mike Evans was blanket covered, but he was rushed. The very next play, this is the reason why teams cannot run on us. You'll see 93 Ndamukong Suh go against the center, 61 Matt Paradis. He gets good full arm extension on him and then just tackles the runner as he's coming by. Then on the very next play, you'll see 94 Carl Nassib. He goes up against their left tackle, 65. Dennis Daly. He ends up beating Daly and getting a hit on Kyle Allen, number 7. Then on the very next play, this is third down. You see, it's a very unusual formation. You've got 58, Shaq Barrett lined up on the left side. This is Devin White, 45, linebacker, inside linebacker. Ndamukong Suh is lined up kind of in a nose tackle position, but almost back like he's a linebacker. You'll see him blitz in, but he ends up getting tripped up and falling down. Then you've got Levante David, 54, and then you've got 50 Vita Vea on the end. Now, Shaq Barrett, 58, ends up getting a pretty good move on 72. Taylor Moton forcing Kyle Allen, number 7, to throw the ball quicker than he wanted to. But you can watch 93, the Ndamukong Suh come in, and he just gets tripped up as he's coming in. I think he probably would have killed Kyle Allen if he wouldn't have tripped up. Poor Eric Reed. He tries to come in on a blitz for this run, and number 74, Ali Marpet, pushes him about 20 yards away. This is pretty good on Ali Marpet's part. Boom. There we go. Keep going. Keep going. Right off the screen. This is the second attempted pass of the day by Jameis Winston. He throws it behind 85 Bobo Wilson. This is just a bad pass. So far, Jameis Winston has thrown 1 interception and a bad pass. 11:45 in the first quarter, third down and 10 to go. Ball's on the 25. Scores 3-0. Carolina. On the podcast during the offseason, Molly and I had talked about how Todd Bowles' defense it shows so many looks that it's almost impossible to read what's going on. This is a perfect case. This is such a strange alignment. Here you've got the outside linebacker, Carl Nassib, number 94. Inside linebacker, 45, Devin White. Outside linebacker, 58, Shaq Barrett. Then you have in the linebacker positions, Ndamukong Suh, who is normally a defensive tackle in the defensive tackle position, number 93. He comes blitzing in. And you got 92, William Golston, who comes blitzing in as well. He normally plays interior lineman as well. Devin White, 45, ends up covering 22 McCaffrey. Will Golston comes rushing in, gets past 72 Moten, and gets a rush on 70 Kyle Allen. Every single passing play so far, the Buccaneers have generated pressure on Kyle Allen. He's been able to get the ball out. Some of his throws have been ill-advised. He's throwing to covered receivers. This time he has an open receiver who ends up dropping the ball. $11:30 in the first quarter. It's 1st and 10 to go. 27, Ronald Jones is in charge of picking up the blitzer, who is 25, Eric Reed. He ends up getting beat, and Reed gets a pressure on Jameis Winston, causing him to scramble outside the pocket. Josh Wells, number 72, ends up blocking nobody on this play. But Ronald Jones, and this is a common theme throughout this game, Ronald Jones has got to get better on his pass protection. But he ends up getting beat by 25. Great catch by Godwin, though. Very next play, 11 minutes to go in the first quarter, 1st and 10. 92, Vernon Butler beats 72, Josh Wells, for a pressure on Jameis Winston, causing Winston to step up and run right into Gerald McCoy for the sack. Now, Jameis Winston, as soon as he steps back on his drop right there, he starts to feel pressure. What he doesn't see is his check down 27, Ronald Jones, is open, as well as Mike Evans running across midfield. Instead, Jameis Winston feels this pressure, steps up, and runs to the right. He unfortunately runs right into the grasp of Gerald McCoy. Now, if he would have run to the left, you can see there's a gap there. There's a gap right here that he could have run to, but instead he runs right into Gerald McCoy's grasp. This is the very next play. Jameis Winston feels phantom pressure and scrambles right into another sack. We're going to see that this was a very bad decision for him because Scotty Miller is blazing down the field wide open. I mean, look at this. There's nobody around him. I mean, the safety could have possibly gotten there, but if Jameis Winston would have thrown the ball correctly, this most likely could have been a very long reception, probably even a touchdown. We'll look at this from the end zone angle. Here it is from the end zone angle. You'll see that Jameis Winston had no pressure on him. He felt phantom pressure and ends up running right into the grasp of 95 Dontari Poe right here. I don't know why. You can see right there, there's no pressure on him whatsoever. 72 has got his man locked up. 71's got his man locked up. Everybody is locked up. There's absolutely no reason for Jameis Winston to scramble in this situation. And he ends up scrambling right into Dontari Poe. 8:37 in the first quarter, 1st and 10. The ball is on the 1 yard line. This play could have been a disaster. You're going to see 45, Devin White, ends up taking the wrong hole, leaving McCaffrey able to pick up a couple extra yards that he probably wouldn't have if Devin White would have taken the correct hole. 92, William Golston does a good job of shedding his blocker and making the tackle. You can see Ndamukong Suh being double teamed. He gets pushed out of the way. Vita Vea is being double teamed. He gets through the double team though. But Devin White steps up and goes into this hole while 40 runs into this hole over here. You see, here's Devin White. He's way over on this side. Fortunately, Golston was able to get past his blocker and tackle 40. He did pick up a few yards. If 40 would have been able to squeeze through, he probably would have picked up some pretty good yardage there. 6:51 left to go in the first quarter. It's 1st and 10, ball on the 13. The Carolina has moved the ball out away from their end zone. We're going to see where they pick up a large chunk of yardage. 88, Greg Olsen ends up getting this pass. The Buccaneers defense is playing a combination of man and zone. Levante David ends up covering 22 McCaffrey. The cornerbacks, they are on man coverage. 94 Carl Nassib, he drops back into zone. With this play, it appears that 45 Devin White was supposed to cover either the left zone or cover Olsen. I'm not sure which one. Either way, I would have to say that Olsen getting free and open on this catch is Devin White's fault, number 45. One of the reasons why I say that is because you can watch Levante David and 31 Whitehead start talking to him, and you can see Devin White looks to Whitehead as he's talking, and then Levante David over here says something to him, and he turns his head and listens to both of them. So I think they were explaining to him that he was supposed to be covering Olsen. The Buccaneers' run defense is no joke. You're going to see 94 Carl Nassib beat 72 Taylor Moton and then tackle the runner. You're going to see Ndamukong Suh get double teamed, but he still gets good leverage, and he's looking at the runner, which causes the runner, 92 McCaffrey, to decide not to go in either gap that Suh is covering, allowing 94 Carl Nassib to make the tackle. This is 1st and 10 on the same drive. DJ Moore is being covered by 28 Vernon Hargreaves. DJ Moore is number 12. DJ Moore pushes Hargreaves in the back so hard he falls down. DJ Moore ends up catching this pass. How this was not called, I don't know. Right there, see it? He almost falls down. The Panthers just scored on a 99-yard drive. This is their extra point attempt. Watch 92 Will Golston. You know, I always talk about him on kick blocks. He can jump really high. He gets up there, and he's blocked quite a few kicks for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But watch him. He jumps in the middle, and they flip him over. Whoop. There he goes. Boom. That's commitment. 77 Kyle Love beats 74 Ali Marpet for a quarterback hit on Jameis Winston. Very first play of the second quarter, you're going to see Jameis Winston again feels phantom pressure, decides to scramble out of a perfectly clean pocket and runs right into the grasp of a Carolina Panther. See, right here is when he decides to scramble. He has no need to. The pocket is fine. Everybody's got their man contained. and he runs right into the grasp of 53, Brian Burns, for the sack. .12-16 in the second quarter. The score is 10-7. This is third down with 4 to go. We're going to show this play twice because there's 2 Buccaneer players that have good performances here. 94, Carl Nassib beats 72, Taylor Moton, for the pressure on the quarterback and leads to a sack. So we'll watch that one first. Beautiful move right there. Actually, just about everybody on the defensive line does a good job. Then you can watch Vita Vea go up the middle here and get a... he should have really gotten the sack, but it looks like he falls down towards the end, but he generates the original pressure. About 10-17 left to go in the second quarter. 2nd and 9. The ball is on the 32. The score is 10-7. Carolina still. This is Jameis Winston's 3rd sack of the day, I believe. This is the fault of 27, Ronald Jones. Again, like I said, this is going to be somewhat of a theme with him today. He gets faked out thinking that 54, Shaq Thompson, is going to blitz. Instead, Shaq Thompson goes back into coverage, and it appears that I think this is 23, Eric Reed. He comes in to blitz, and Ronald Jones does not see him. Jameis Winston, however, does see him, and instead of just throwing the ball away or trying to maneuver away from Eric Reed, he steps up right into pressure. I think it's 93 and 77. Kyle Love, who ended up making the tackle. I'm not sure, making the sack. I'm not sure who it is. We'll see. But you see, here's 27. He's looking over, and the blitzer's coming in. Jameis Winston feels the pressure, and he steps up and runs right into everybody else. 9:38, second quarter, 3rd and 12 to go. The ball's on the 29. Score still 10-7. 55, Bruce Irving ends up beating 72, Josh Wells, getting around the edge and getting his hand out, hitting Jameis Winston in the arm as he throws, causing an errant pass, which is then picked off. 8:05 in the second quarter. Devin White is supposed to be covering 22, McCaffrey. Unfortunately, he gets confused in his coverage, ends up getting caught over on the left side of the field. Does not see McCaffrey coming out. If you look, these 2 guys are both covering, looks like 88 Olsen, when they shouldn't be. Allow McCaffrey to catch the ball, and then he just makes a good run. We got some missed tackles there. Same play, keep an eye on Vita Vea. He ends up beating the center and almost gets to Kyle Allen. If Allen wouldn't have got this ball off, he would have gotten destroyed. This is a run play behind the left guard. Ali Marpet and Donovan Smith end up double teaming 95 Don Terry Poe. 74 looks like he tries to go out and block 59 Luke Kuechly, but 95 pushes him out of the way, and 95 ends up making the tackle. It was about 6:30 in the second quarter, 1st and 10. The Buccaneers tried to run the ball over in this area, but they can't. This is, we get good yardage on this. I think we pick up about 6 yards, but this is all 100% because of Donovan Smith. He ends up chipping this guy here and then blocking Luke Kuechly, 59, pushing him out of the way, creating a hole. Well, Peyton Barber bounces off of a lineman, doesn't see the hole. Donovan Smith grabs him and pushes him forward for like 6 yards. Pay attention to Donovan Smith right here. There he is. He grabs Peyton Barber and pushes him forward. Very next play, I just wanted to point out that we are in the triple tight end formation. You can see 84 Cameron Brate, 80 O.J. Howard, and I believe that's 82 Austin and Claire in front of them. We run this play, but it ends up being a quick slant route to Chris Godwin on the right-hand side. Basically, this is just a diversionary tactic with these 3 tight ends to make them think we're running to that end. Just wanted to point out that we're running a 3 tight end set. This is the second time I think I've seen it this year. I really want to see it more. This is the very next play. You're going to see 54 Shaq Thompson come in on a blitz. Peyton Barber, 25, does not do a very good job of blocking him. He ends up getting his hand on Winston's helmet. This should have been a penalty called on 54, but it wasn't. Not that I agree with that type of penalty, but they need to be consistent. If they're going to call it, they need to call it. They call it for one team, they should call it for all teams. But you can see right there, he hits Jameis Winston right in the helmet. Jameis Winston does a good job sliding around the pocket, getting this pass off. Two minutes left to go in the second quarter before halftime. Jameis Winston tries to throw a screen pass to 27, Ronald Jones. Unfortunately, he hesitates. He does a pump fake because he thinks that the guy Cameron Brate is blocking is in the way. So he does a pump fake and then gets swarmed by the defensive line and fumbling the ball. We do recover the ball. But Jameis Winston should know that half his offensive line has let the defensive line get by so that they can go out and block for the screen pass. So there's no blockers. These guys are rushing right at him. He should know that he has no time to hold this ball. He should have thrown it immediately or thrown it away, one of the two. This is the very next play, second quarter. We were lucky to recover that fumble. Unfortunately, we fumble on this one, and the Carolina Panthers get the ball. On this play, you're going to see Shaq Barrett, number 54, comes in for a blitz. Shaq Thompson comes in for a blitz. Not Shaq Barrett, Shaq Thompson. He comes in on a blitz. 27 misses him. Well, 27 decides to run out for a check down, and instead of 54 continuing with the blitz, he turns around to follow Ronald Jones on the check down. Unfortunately, Jameis Winston panics for no reason on this play, starts scrambling around, ends up getting hit and fumbling the ball. But there's a couple things we want to look at. There's Ronald Jones missing. You've got Jameis Winston is panicking for really no reason. He's got Ronald Jones open for the check down. He could have thrown it there, or better yet, he could have thrown it to little Scotty Miller, who's wide open up here. Instead, he does this, and then that, and then that. And you can see, we're going to rewind it real quick. You'll be able to see watch Jensen, Ryan Jensen, number 66. He's a little frustrated, I think, with Jameis Winston antics. He throws his hands up in the air, walks off the field in a huff. Doesn't even go to see if Jameis Winston's okay. We'll look at it from the end zone angle. You can see plain as day that Winston had no reason to scramble out of the pocket. Perfect pocket, it's good. Everybody's accounted for. Very next play on the turnover. After the turnover, Carolina has the ball. Watching Ndamukong Suh, he ends up beating 60 Darrell Williams. for a sack on Kyle Allen. Also, number 50, Vita Vea beats Matt Paradis, number 61. Ends up hitting Kyle Allen in the face with his elbow. It looks like this could have been a penalty, but it wasn't. They both share a sack. So you can watch either one that you want to watch. Vita Vea does a good job pushing 61 back. And the Ndamukong Suh just flat out beats his guy. It's like a swim move, I think. .41 seconds to go in the second quarter. Watch Donovan Smith, 97. Mario Addison tries to get cute, jump up and block the pass. Donovan Smith takes a little bit of a offense at this, I do believe. Boom! To the ground. Very next play, just want to point out, Jameis Winston scrambles here for no reason. He moves outside the pocket. Unfortunately, what happens is this causes Ali Marpet, who's got his man locked up, to end up having to hold his guy. He gets called for holding here. But Jameis Winston could have very easily just stepped up in the pocket a little bit, or even not really even moved, because Donovan Smith has got his guy taken care of. There's no need for Jameis Winston to run outside the pocket. A few seconds left before halftime. You're going to see Gerald McCoy zip around to the outside on like a delayed stunt. Josh Wells, 72, gets his hand caught in the pile between 71 and whoever this guy is here. So his hand is stuck in there, and Gerald McCoy comes around the corner, catching him off balance and throwing him to the ground, causing Winston to have to scramble. As you can see right here, Wells' hand is stuck in the pile. He gets off balance. McCoy's able to throw him to the ground. About 14 minutes left in the third quarter. Vita Vea, number 50, beats number 73. Greg Van Roten ends up getting a pressure and a hit on quarterback Allen. Third quarter, about 13 minutes left. It's 3rd and 13. You're going to see 50 Vita Vea grab 73, throw him to the ground. He almost gets to quarterback 7 Allen. Also on this play, you can see Carl Nass of 94 splits a double team and gets up in Allen's face. This is the very next play. You know, I've given Hargreaves a hard time for not giving a lot of effort on the gunning position. This is Ryan Smith, number 29. He was just activated. He's been on suspension. He's made 2 great special team plays so far. And watch this one. He takes this guy completely out of the picture. This is how you deal with a gunner. Makes him a non-factor. Second offensive play for the Buccaneers in the third quarter. After the punt, you're going to see Donovan Smith gives up a little bit of pressure from Mario Addison on Jameis Winston, causing Jameis Winston to throw the ball. But here's what I want you to see, and this is what we talk about with Jameis Winston not seeing the field. He ends up throwing it here, but look what he's got here. You could also see number 10, Scotty Miller, is getting ready to shoot down the field too. But he had this guy wide open. Didn't see him. About 13 minutes left to go in the third quarter. It's 3rd and 2. Winston again here gets happy feet. You can see there's no pressure on him. And he decides to run. I mean, the pocket's closing in a bit, but he didn't have to run. And he ends up running right into the arms of defenders. Very next play, Buccaneers are punting. You're going to see Eric Reed runs right into Pinion, number 8. This should have been a penalty. You can see Pinion turns around to the refs and even asks, well, that should have been a penalty, but they didn't call it. And he runs right into him. Very next play and first play by the Carolina's offense, you're going to see Carlton Davis, 33, get beat by number 10, Curtis Samuel of the Panthers. This is a long pass, double move by Curtis Samuel. Gets us some separation, open. 8:21 left in the third quarter. The score is 20-7, Carolina Panthers. Buccaneers have first down, 10 to go, ball on the 25. Jameis Winston ends up throwing an interception. 59, Luke Kuechly gets the interception. When I first saw this, I thought, and I've heard many people say this, that Jameis Winston just threw a horrible, bad decision, bad pass, just threw it right to him. However, when you look at the end zone angle, you will see that he gets hit by Eric Reed. Eric Reed. Eric Reed comes in on a blitz. 27, Ronald Jones tries to pick him up. He gets beat. Eric Reed ends up hitting Jameis Winston, causing the ball to go errant. We're going to slow it down. And you can see right there, this causes the ball to go errant and right to Luke Kuechly. So again, Ronald Jones's fault. 8:01 to go in the third quarter, 1st and 10. Buccaneers have the ball. Here's another case of Jameis Winston getting happy feet. If you see, they're lined up on the left hash mark. Jameis Winston goes back, and he moves over to the center of the field. Now, everybody's got their man contained, but for some reason, Jameis Winston decides to run to the right. Have no idea why. 71, Earl Watford totally whiffs on blocking. 59, Luke Kuechly. The runner, Peyton Barber, 25. He comes up through the hole. Kuechly ends up making a tackle, but Barber still picks up good yardage. But Watford totally misses blocking Kuechly. Matt Gay with a 50-plus yarder field goal. And you know we can't have one of these videos without showing Matt Gay's shimmy shimmy. And there it is. Good kick into the win. And again, another good run defense by the Buccaneers. You'll see 50, Vita Vea stands Matt Paradis up. Number 61. He'll stand guys up and then watch for the runner. And as the runner comes by, he'll toss his guy and grab the runner. But the really interesting one is the Ndamukong Suh. He gets double teamed by 60 and 72. That's Darrell Williams, number 60, and Taylor Moton, number 72. But as the runner comes to run by, he spins out of the double team and tackles the runner. You see him do this move quite a bit with double teams, or when the runner's coming, he'll spin, zip, tackle the runner. Ndamukong Suh with a nice spin move on 61. Matt Paradis get by him. And that was a mistake of Devin White in coverage, by the way. 92, William Golston just pushes 72 Taylor Moton right out of the way and makes this tackle. This is pure strength. Pushes him to the ground. 14:34 in the fourth quarter. It's 2nd and 10. Ball's on the 25. It's about a gazillion to 10. Panthers. Jameis Winston gets flushed out of the pocket. Gets the ball to Chris Godwin. From the end zone angle, we can see that Donovan Smith, number 76, gets beat by 97. Addison. For pressure on Winston. He spins, gets out of it, makes the pass. Very next play, the Panthers blitz. You're going to see 23 Eric Reed comes in free, untouched. Jameis Winston avoids him. Dare Ogunbowale, number 44, should have gone over to block him. Instead, he stays in thinking to help block this guy. Now, Winston avoids the sack, but then he steps right into the arms of, I can't tell who that is over there. We'll see it from the end zone angle. But he doesn't look downfield and see that 80 O.J. Howard is wide open. Look at that. From the end zone angle, you're going to see he's going to rush in. Free and untouched. Dare should have swung over and picked him up. Our running backs did not do a very good job of blocking. Good move by Winston, but then he moves right into a defender. If you look right there, he had a fine pocket. There was no reason for him to try to scramble away, but he does. And scrambles right into the defender. Then the very next play, Jameis Winston feels phantom pressure again, and he does not see Chris Godwin, number 12, open. If he would have thrown the ball about right now, that would have been a perfect opportunity. Instead, he feels phantom pressure, scrambles out of the pocket. We'll look at it from the end zone angle, and you'll see that Jameis Winston did not need to move out of the pocket. There he is. Josh Wells is getting pushed back into him. All he needed to do was slide around a little bit. Instead, he tucks and runs. About 7 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. It's 2nd and 10. Dare Ogunbowale misses a block on 25 Eric Reed, who ends up getting a hand on Winston's arm as he throws it, causing an errant pass. It's about 6.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Gerald McCoy ends up getting a sack on this play. Dare Ogunbowale goes to block 53. Brian Burns totally misses him and then kind of just stands there, turned around looking at the quarterback before he decides, I need to go out for a check down pass. Everybody does pretty good with the blocking. 72, Josh Wells does get pushed back by Gerald McCoy. But Winston has 3 seconds in this pocket, which to me is a good length of time for a quarterback. He decides that he's going to scramble again. and he scrambles right into the grasp of number 77. He eventually gets out of 77's grasp. 77, I think that's his number. Yes, Kyle Love. And when he gets out of the grasp of 77, he spins right back around into the pocket. It's very strange. And runs right into Gerald McCoy, who lands on top of him with all of his weight. Now, I think, dude, right there, that should have been a penalty. You know, if you're going to call this stuff, if you're going to have, you know, this as a penalty, you need to be consistent with it. I mean, Gerald McCoy leaves his feet and puts all of his weight right on Winston when he lands. Look right there. That should have been a penalty. Mario Addison puts a great spin move on 76 Donovan Smith. It really doesn't go anywhere, but I mean, this is fast. This is fast for a big man, which is whoop, beep. Goodness. 2:37 in the fourth quarter. It's 3rd and 10. The ball is on the 45. Panthers are up 37-26. Buccaneers are coming back a little bit, but here you're going to see Jameis Winston get the happy feet again. He sits in the pocket. He has no pressure on him. He's sitting there, and then right there, he just runs out of the pocket and goes to the side. He felt pressure. And then he ends up throwing the ball to Mike Evans. That doesn't get caught. Now, he's sitting here right as soon as he turns to run out of the pocket. You can see Mike Evans is open over here. I mean, that's open. In NFL, that's definitely open. If he would have just stood in the pocket for another 1/10 of a second, he could have seen that and thrown it to him. No, if he would have seen it. And he ends up throwing it to him anyhow. It's just a mess. Now let's look at the end zone angle, and you'll see that Winston had a perfectly clean pocket. They only rushed 4. Look at this. And it looks like 92's coming in, but 71 Warford's got him under control. There was absolutely no reason for Winston to do that. 46 seconds left in the fourth quarter. It's 1st and 10 to go. Ball's on the 46. The score is Carolina Panthers 37, Buccaneers 26. This is basically garbage time here, but we're still trying to do something. You're going to see, once again, 4-man rush. Winston just doesn't. You'll see a 4-man rush. The guy gets free. We'll look at that in the end zone angle here. But Scotty Miller is wide open. This would have been a touchdown. Don't know why Jameis did not see this. He ends up scrambling and throwing it. But that you can't get no more wide open than that. From the end zone angle, you can see that 71 Warford, 72 Josh Wells, and 44 Daria Ogunbowale take on 77 Kyle Love and 55 Bruce Irving. Now, 55 and 77 do a twist, and they end up generating some pressure on Winston. But, I mean, he's got 3 seconds in the pocket before he even gets any pressure on him at all. You're going to see 70, 71, and 72 end up blocking each other right there. That's just funny. Last play of the game. This is kneel down for the Carolina Panthers. Watch number 11, Brandon Zylstra. He's happy.
This has been the Buccaneers Observer. Don't forget to like and subscribe.